Hello, welcome to another Writerly Witterings. My name's Michael Jex. I'm a tea drinker. Cheers. This is another in my series of little talks about guys I find to be inspirational writers. I've spoken about James Clavell, John Masters, I've spoken about Neville Shute, I've spoken about George MacDonald Fraser. Today I'm going to talk about someone you've probably never heard of, again. And his name is John Harris. Now, this is a guy who was really a thriller writer from the 1960s, I think it's fair to say. He wrote quite a large number of books. If I look at the section at the front of this one, it lists none of his other books. That's helpful, isn't it? So let's have a look at one of these things. A funny place to hold a war. Now, this is hopefully going to have a list of other books, but no, it doesn't. Now, isn't that strange? These are old publications, but I would have thought they would have mentioned other books that he had written, but no, they don't. There's a strange thing. Right, he wrote a lot of books, believe me, and if you look them up on eBay you'll find lots of them. Sadly, I don't think his books are in print anymore. Most sadly, I don't think this is in print anymore. Light Cavalry Action. And I say sadly because I think this is, for my money, the standout, best courtroom drama ever written. It starts in 1939 at the High Court of Justice. It says, the beginning here, says July 24th, 1939, Law Report, High Court of Justice, King's Bench Division, Prideaux versus Higgins and others before Mr. Justice Godliman. The morning paper headline was as stark as the weather. And this is all about a court case regarding the military reputation of the man who is likely to become the Commander-in-Chief of British Expeditionary Forces if war with Germany was going to be declared. We know it was. Lieutenant General Sir Henry Prideaux, DSO, had no alternative but to bring this matter into court. The case took the judge, the jury and the public back to a day in the winter of 1919 when British troops in action against Bolshevik forces during the Russian Civil War in South Russia made the last charge of British horse cavalry. Their commander was Colonel Prideaux. For this, the balaclava of the Russian Civil War, in inverted commas, he won the DSO and made his name. But was it justifiable? The truth, one of his subordinates had written, is that before and after the action at Dancoy, when it came to leading and giving orders, General Prideaux, or Colonel Prideaux as he was then, was noticeably not among those present when he was wanted. And that's the start of this. It is a libel case between an officer in the British Army and the colonel of the time. If his court case was proved, then the general would not be allowed to have control of the forces landing in Germany. If he was proved to be honourable, the other man's life would be ruined. But let's just pull it back a stage. This is not straight history. It is a novel, but it is the gradual exposing of a story over the period of a court case. And it's a story that we all forget now. Everybody talks about the 1418 war. Not many people remember, luckily a lot of the First World War gravestones in the UK do remember it, and they have the 14 to 19 war. Because the end of the fighting in Germany, in Belgium and into Germany, was not the end of the First World War. Our forces were still involved in Russia and other places. And the fighting against the Bolsheviks was particularly brutal, and it was terrifying for the English soldiers involved, because they were a huge distance away from home. It wasn't a case of just being over the channel and they could hop on a ship and come back to Blighty. These guys were over in the far south of Russia. How would they escape from there? They didn't know, but they did know that the whole of the country was against them by that stage, and they were trying to help protect the White Russians, try to help protect the Tsar, and they were a small outpost of cavalry way out in the middle of nowhere. I seriously cannot recommend this book highly enough. I absolutely love it. It's one of my desert island books, if you like. It's one of those books I'd have to take with me. I think I must have read it 5 or 6 times. As you can see, this copy is severely damaged. The front cover's almost coming off. It is quite ancient. Has that lovely musty smell of a 1960s book that's seen a lot of life. But it is enthralling, it's intriguing, it's a brilliant evocation of a courtroom, and it gives you a slice of history that most people have completely forgotten about. Thoroughly recommend that. If you see a copy of it, don't hesitate, just buy it. It is superb. Hope that was interesting. Hope that was useful. If it was, please hit the like button, the share button. Don't forget to share it, because that increases the viewership of my little films. And if you've got any questions or comments, hit the comments button too, and I will always try to get back to you as soon as possible. And having said that, I'm now going to go away, finish my cup of tea, and think of another inspirational author to talk about. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. Hope you have a good week. See you soon.